Unabated. That's the new word, unabated. That's kind of too big a word. That's like mayonnaise. I'm assuming that's the biggest word I know.
Hello, everyone, and welcome on into the Blitz NFL Player Props with Derek Carty of EV Analytics. Derek, we had a fantastic week last week, and I've taken a peek at what we're looking at this week. Oh wow, we have a packed slate to get to.
Oh, yeah.
So we're gonna have to start moving. Of course, Justin, Steven, and John on the NBA show are going to be coming up after us at 1. So we're going to get through it today. So apologize to you guys if we don't get to every single one of your questions today. But we have a fantastic schedule coming up. But Derek, let's talk about last week too. How did you do last week? Because I know on the show, fantastic results for us here. 3-1 plus 2.5 units roughly. We're 19-15 on the season for just over 4 units. And I know for me personally, it was one of my best betting weekends ever. The props were absolutely hitting.
Yeah, I know you hit some ladders too. That did. I think you said you did like a Jonnu Smith 5+ catches for like plus 850 or something crazy like that. Yeah. So I had a solid week. I had a profitable week. It wasn't crazy. Certainly not as good as yours. But at this point, the way this season has gone so far, a profitable week is a profitable week. I will take it. I'm still kind of around break even for the year. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's been a rough year. But I don't think anything's changed, fundamentally. I think we've had more blowout games than usual. We've had some weird game scripts. We've had some really bad variance stuff, plays missing by 1 yard or like just stupid stuff. Stick with the process, keep going. I mean, I've been doing this for years. Over the long term, I mean, I'm wildly profitable, so I'm not too concerned about a couple of months. Like it's the nature of the beast.
Yeah, and it's not like there's been some sort of fundamental shift. There's not something that has been changed that everyone is scrambling to quantify. It's just been some bad variance. But hey, hopefully we've been turning it around here because it was a good week. I hit that Jonnu Smith ladder, which was phenomenal, but it was just one of those weeks where everything falls your way. Like you win all the coin flips. Saturday, I had a whole bunch of first half stuff going, like first half totals that I found with the Unabated tools. And like, I think I missed 2 of them out of the 10 I placed. And then it just rolled into Sunday. We hit all those ladders. Monday night, I hit the Allen Lazard ladder. I didn't get the last leg, like the 75+, but I hit the 25 and the 50. It was a profitable day. Everything was fun. Let's see if we can keep going in this week. And we have so much to get to this week. It's a good looking slate.
Yeah, it is. We have, I think, a dozen plays, assuming we don't have any more lines move. They've been moving quite a bit over the last couple hours, but we've got a lot to cover.
Yeah, we do. So why don't you share your screen there? We will get into it. We'll start moving along. But of course, while you're doing that, also shout out to Justin Long, our producer and phenomenal social media guy here at Unabated, because the thumbnails have been so on point this season. We absolutely love them. This week's, of course, Derek, I feel like you were made. You and Justin Herbert are long lost twins.
Yeah, I've heard that before. I like to think I'm better looking, but we'll see.
And who knew that Mike McDaniel and me combined to make Rob Pizzola? But guys, thank you so much, everyone, for being here in the chat. Chaos New York saying hello, gents, tuning in from work, but give me the good stuff. Hey, he's got his priorities in order. He knows this is the real moneymaker. Clash Pride saying the thumbnail gave me nightmares. Win or lose, bro. KGB says we always appreciate the transparency, Derek. Of course we do. And everybody else is just like, hey, let's go. Boglore's here saying, what's up, money makers? Let's get into it, my friend. Derek, where are we headed first on the slate here?
We are looking at Zack Ertz. No, we're not. The line has moved. The line has moved a lot. Okay. Oh, I had this like plus 140 earlier, then it was plus 137, plus 110. I don't like it enough. And that's the nature of this. Like we come on here and we tell you the plays that we like.
Yeah.
But it's the word like is completely it's completely tied to the context of it. Like if you ask me, do you like Zack Ertz? Do you think he's a good football player? I'd say probably not. but you give me the right odds on it and I'll take it. You give me the wrong odds on it and it's only showing 14%, and that's not enough for me to take this. At plus 140, I liked it.
Yeah.
So it's important to be sensitive to price and not just be like, well, I think this guy's going to have a good game, so I'm just going to bet the over. Like, price is all that matters.
Exactly. And how many times have we preached that on this show? This is our second season doing this. And it's something that last season when people were thanking us at the end of the year, which was awesome, by the way, thank you guys so much for being here with us. But people were talking about, hey, this fundamentally changed my approach to props. I started being more price conscious and looking at it and thinking about, okay, well, yeah, maybe I like him over 3.5 receptions, but do I like him at plus 110 or do I like him at plus 150? That's the kind of thing that people have started to think about thanks to the show and thanks to what we've been doing here. So yeah, we're off to a rough start as the market has moved there on Zack Ertz, even though he and Mariota were turning back the clock to 2015 last week and probably will this week, because I do not believe Jaden Daniels is playing in that football game. But let's move on to our next one on the sheet. Instead, we're not going to be able to play Tyler Huntley overs this week, which has me very sad.
All right. So Rashad White under rushing attempts. Some of these books do not. So we got news yesterday that Bucky Irving was probably not going to play. Then we got news today that Bucky Irving, barring any setbacks, is probably going to play. Some books have yanked Rashad White's and Sean Tucker lines down. Some have left them up. So I don't think this line is there anymore. I know DraftKings was there about a half hour ago when I looked. So this would be the line that we'd
I'm going to scope out MGM real quick.
Yeah. So if anyone wants to post any books that still have these up, there were also some yardage ones that were up too that looked fine. I think 365 had yardage up. I think Caesars had yardage up. I think DK had yardage up. So, but basically what we're doing here is assuming Bucky Irving plays, they've just been saying that right now they're playing the hot hand with these guys. They're giving all three of them work. And, 10 carries is a lot for a guy who's in a 3-man committee.
Yeah. And it has been the worst in the 3-man committee.
Yeah.
Brett Solomon saying, did I miss any bets? Nope. Rashad White under is the first one that we are looking at here. Steven Johnson says it's on DK, and Boglor is confirming what I was about to say here, which is it has been pulled at MGM. Still even money on DK. That won't be there.
Like DK just moved it to
there it goes.
Is that nine? They moved it down a full carry, and it's still going as it should. I think this might have even been. I want to come back for a second. I think the Blitz's projection is actually below that. I think I manually put that in for just to check something. But yeah, the Blitz is projecting about 7 rushes for White in the 3-man committee. So obviously insane value.
Yeah. Do we still like the under 9.5?
Oh yeah. I mean, we're projecting 7. So the under 9.5, the only real risk, there's always risk, but the big risk here is that Bucky Irving does not play, in which case this does not look great. Todd Bowles, hat tip, coach speak index. Todd Bowles is generally pretty reliable when it comes to this stuff. He says that it's pretty likely Bucky Irving's going to play, so we're going to roll with it. Yeah.
Derek M saying Fanatics has under 12.5 at minus 145. If you can still get that, that's phenomenal.
No, they don't. Oh my God.
They do.
Do that one, please. Do we have this on the screen here? Let's see. Oh no, it's not listed here, but I would imagine that's showing I don't know, lots and lots of value.
A 102% edge.
It really might be something like that.
Derek also says, wish I wasn't so limited at Fanatics. Me too, buddy. Me too. You really just have to parlay stuff at that point on Fanatics if you want to get down. DJ Cole saying, I have never seen carries offered in Mass. Matt's saying, does MGM not offer rush attempts in Massachusetts? That is surprising to me.
I couldn't tell you state to state. I mean, I know they do offer the market.
Yeah. Jim Robinson also saying yardage 38.5 widely available shows a considerable edge there also.
Yeah, that one looks good too. If you can't get the carries, if you don't have a book that has it, that under, and we can pull it up right here too. This is really good to bet also. Yeah. This was gone, I think, but these 38.5s are still going to be out there at some books. I think 365, I'm pretty sure had it.
Hard Rock has it.
Hard Rock. I thought I saw Caesars at 38.5. I could be wrong. So yeah, find what you can. We're banking on Bucky Irving sitting, but I think that's more likely than not.
Cheeseburger Eddie says he just loaded up on the Fanatics under 12.5, but of course, loading up on Fanatics means he got a whole cheeseburger down on it. That's about it. All right.
Did you get the whole burger down?
I mean, it's not a bacon cheeseburger. They're limiting you there, but he probably got at least the dollar menu down. Fanatics also had 45.5 rush yards. What are we doing here, people? What are we doing here? Seriously.
All right.
Curtis said he got $23 down on Fanatics. I'm at $10. That's what I can get down.
Not a lot.
No. All right. Where are we going next here?
All
also,
right,
I'm just saying shout out to Sean Tucker. He's been on my dynasty bench forever.
Okay. This was plus 160 before. I'm still fine at 155. This opened not too long ago. I think I only noticed it maybe a half hour ago. Khif Raymond, over 2.5 receptions, plus 155 at 365. Looks like our best number. You can see the Blitz is projecting 2.7. So this is going to be pretty close to a coin flip one that we're getting at plus 155. Jameson Williams is out this week due to suspension. I anticipate Tim Patrick being the number 2 option, the number 2 wide receiver here, and Raymond kind of being the number 3. But I do think his role will expand a little bit. There will be more targets to go around, and they're offering us the right price on this. So that's what we're about here.
Yeah. Jameson Williams now suspended for both gambling and drug use. One of us. He is one of us. I might get the jersey. All right. Next up after Khif Raymond here. Who are you going to? By the way, did discover there's an Arizona Cardinals jersey that I absolutely need to get because they have a player named Starling Thomas V. And so his jersey is Thomas V on the back. And I'm like, why does DH Gate not have the ability to sell jerseys anymore? Because that's a DH Gate special if I ever saw one.
Yeah, you do need to get that.
Yeah. Jameson Williams probably watching this show now, to be honest. Yahtzee saying, why was JMO not drafted by Las Vegas? That's because sports betting is illegal here in Las Vegas. He'd be better off if he was a fan of car racing.
Yeah, it's a good question.
Yeah. All right, we're going to Devante Adams here. Break my heart. The Jets are going to win 3 games here, make it so that in the hunt graphic at 6-8 looks absolutely putrid and then miss the playoffs. But let's talk about Devante.
Yeah, we're looking at Devante under 5.5 receptions, minus 130 at 365 is the best line, but you can see pretty widely available at similar numbers across books. Blitz projecting full reception under. A lot of this has to do, there's a few things. First, he's not going to get the same target volume that he's gotten in his career because he's on the Jets now and they have Garrett Wilson too. So, some games Devante will go out and he'll get 10 targets and 8 catches. And some weeks he'll be held for, 3 catches on 5. And Wilson will do that. So the other thing is they're facing the Patriots. They are full touchdown favorites, so they should not have to throw the ball a whole lot. If Devante doesn't get there early, we're going to be pretty happy about that. This is also the second slowest pace game of the week, so just play volume in general should be down in this game. And then we still don't really know what this offense is under Todd Downing. Super run heavy in Tennessee. They switched it over a couple of weeks ago. They said, hey, we want to commit to the run, and they haven't. They've still been pass heavy. The Blitz is still projecting them pretty pass heavy at this point. If they happen to go to that run heavy approach, even better for this. So there's upside beyond this number. I like it.
It's so many different factors coming into play there. You've got like you said, they have the wide receiving threats. You've got Garrett Wilson too. And then Aaron Rodgers still loves throwing to Allen Lazard. B, you've got the fact that they could be very run heavy in the game script. They are a big favorite. The Patriots do suck, but it's still a mystery there as to what they're going to actually be able to do, because I don't trust the Jets to cover 7 in the game, but still, I don't think that they're going to be passing the ball either. And then that third thing that you really mentioned is the pace of play. Every single snap for the Jets is happening with 1-2 seconds left on the play clock. They use every second of that play clock all the time. Like, there's a reason that unders are so popular for this team, other than being bad.
Yeah. And I think you mentioned Lazard. He's a game time decision, so definitely possible he doesn't play. Obviously, we're hoping he plays, so there's another mouth in this offense. This probably loses a little bit of value if Lazard is out, but I like it enough to take it regardless.
Nitish saying, should I cash out my Rashad White over 3.5 receptions I got early in the week if his status is limited? I don't think you should. I think you should be waiting to see if Bucky Irving plays first.
Yeah. We can look at that. I mean, let's see where the Blitz has it right now. Because even though they're splitting the work, there's still a little bit of value on that if you got it anywhere near this number. So I wouldn't cash that out if that's around what you have.
Yeah,
they're going to mix and match all three of them on the ground, but White is going to get more of the work in the passing game. Even last week where they were kind of swapping off drives between the guys, like White would come in on third down. They trust him the most in pass protection. They trust him the most as a pass catcher. I don't hate it.
Sports Video also pointing out that the Bucks have you and me playing wide receiver this week. Like, it's bad. Somebody's got to catch passes, and Rashad White's probably catching those. I like that. I like that play a good bit there. And Sports Videos also says we need Mike McDaniels, aka Tom's analysis on Tua coming back this week. Man, you already got the donkey brains. Just stop playing in the league at this point. Come on, man. What are we doing here? How is his family letting him go out and do this? This man is not going to remember his own name in 5 years. This is bad. And he's not wearing a Guardian cap. Make better decisions. Make better decisions. All right. Let's make good decisions, and let's head on to our next prop here.
Well, we are going to his teammate, Devon Achane, under 3.5 receptions plus 124 at Sharpbook P. Looks like our best line right here. You can see the Blitz is projecting a little bit under. We're getting it at some plus money. 2 is coming back, so they should be more pass heavy. They should be more efficient. Achane is obviously a big part of this passing attack. But they also said coming out of the bye, they wanted to make it a point to make Jonnu Smith more of a focal point, which they have.
Yeah.
Obviously Tyreek and Waddle, that chemistry is there with Tua. Like they're probably going to want to get Tyreek going this week with how bad he's been without Tua the last couple of weeks. They have Mostert, they have Jalen Wright healthy. So just a lot of mouths to feed, and this is a big number. So, and we're getting good plus money on it. So, if you're looking at Caesars here at minus 113, I probably don't like it as much. Yeah. But if you're getting, the plus 110 or the plus 124 here, you're feeling better about it.
Yeah. Michael Zimmerman is saying Achane better not pull a Kyron. Yeah, that would be.
I know. Oh my God.
That would be not great.
Last night was a bloodbath. I really did not think Puka Nacua was going to play. And then they activated him. And I'm like, all right, he's got to be limited. Like, he's got to be limited. He can't play the whole game. And man, was I wrong. I took a bath on – I took overs on Tyler Johnson, Tutu Atwell, and who was the other one? Demarcus Robinson. Demarcus Robinson scored 2 touchdowns.
Yep.
But I lost his receptions prop. Like, just it was bad last night. But it is what it is. Like, I feel like.
Yeah, I hit the Stafford passing. I hit the Stafford passing over last night, but it was definitely a rough one.
Thank you.
Yeah, basketball had to bail me out a little bit last night for sure. But hey, I'll take the blame for Puka going off because I did not start him. I left him on my bench, and I knew that was what was going to happen. So that's on me, guys. I'm sorry about that. We'll move on.
For what it's worth, I left him on my bench too, so I'm equally responsible.
Oh well. We move on now. All right. Next up, we're going to James Cook here, and we're sticking to his receptions market.
Yep, going to James Cook, under 1.5 receptions plus 155 at Bet365 is our best line. The Blitz is projecting 3/4 of a reception under. Cook has been involved in the pass game this year, but they've been working in Ray Davis more and more the last couple weeks. Ty Johnson still very much has his role in the pass game. They have Amari Cooper now, who we don't know exactly how much he's going to play this week, but presumably he'll be, playing the majority of the snaps, and will be soaking up some targets. Plus, this looks like a bad weather game. Rain in the forecast, wind, which is just going to bring down passing volume in general, as teams tend to lean into the run more in those situations, and passing tends to be less efficient, even to running backs. So yeah, that's what we're looking at here with Cook.
Michael saying so far this season, I'm 3 for 3 on Braylon Allen under receptions and 3 for 3 on under Cook receptions.
Let's make it 4 for 4.
Yeah. God, that Caesars 2.5 at -204 is wild.
Yeah, it is. And it's crazy too, because a casual bettor will look at these and they'll be like, oh man, Caesars has a 2.5. Everywhere else is 1.5. I'm going to bet at Caesars. No, Caesars is the sharper line, even though it's the higher number.
Yeah.
You run the math on it and the value, and it's significantly worse.
Yeah. That is one to definitely watch out for there. Like that's too much juice to be paying into at that price. All right. Where are we hopping to next?
We are looking at, this one will be fun. All right. We're looking at Alec Pierce. We're looking at Alec Pierce under 1.5 receptions, plus 155. Again, 365 is our best line.
Dalton Kincaid, good to go, by the way. So real quick.
That's good. I was kind of worried about that with Cook. So if Kincaid's good to go, then that's definitely helpful.
That just came.
I've basically only bet Colts overs this year, and Anthony Richardson has been just unfathomably bad, like just unsustainably bad. And like no NFL quarterback can actually be this bad. Yeah. And that's what he's done so far. So this is, I think, my first Colts under this week. Even though the Blitz does still like, not to the extent it used to, but does kind of like some of the Colts overs. So seeing that it likes an under on a Colt, I'm going to take it here. Pierce, they'll take deep shots to him. Maybe he'll catch a deep one. I'm hoping he doesn't catch two. I'm hoping we get bad Anthony Richardson again.
I mean, we've been getting him a lot. This man's an athletic freak, but he cannot throw a forward pass.
I just feel like I'm jinxing myself now. Like this is the Colts bet I'm taking this week, and Richardson's just going to go off, and everyone else is going to get there, and we'll see. But the Texans do play at a very slow pace. They should be chewing the clock. They should be playing from ahead. They should be running it with Mixon a lot. Hopefully, might not see a ton of volume for Indy here. So yeah, we're again, the Blitz is projecting over 1.5 receptions, but when you consider distributions, when you consider the number that we're getting, you take it. It shows good value. So, this is probably a little worse than a coin flip, not even a coin flip, but at plus 155, it's worthwhile.
Yeah.
It's the kind of play that, in the short term doesn't feel great, especially when it loses, but you make enough of these over the long run and they tend to even out, and you tend to wind up on the profitable side of the ledger.
And that's another thing that people ask about. And it's just saying, what about the FanDuel line under 2.5 on this? You're actually still getting some value there. It's not priced like the Caesars one on the last one where it was -200. Yeah,
you are. So like if you wanted to take this 2.5 here, that's going to win more often. When you lose, it's going to hurt. Yeah. But you are going to win it more often. Similar value, if it's personal risk preference. I'll take the 1.5. If you want the 2.5, go right ahead.
Yeah. And it's also like if you click off the it doesn't even matter if you click off. We see the receptions number there of 1.7, and that's a question that a lot of newbies will give you is, hey, wait, you're projecting him to go over this line. You have him at 1.7, and why are you showing an edge on his under at 1.5? And like you said, it's because of that plus 155. This isn't a bet we're making at even money. It's a bet we're making at plus 150. And like if you can get a coin flip at plus 150, you do it.
People view, the 1.5 versus 2.5 thing, like a lot of times, almost, I feel like casual people, like almost as if it's the same odds. Like, okay, you can bet 2.5 minus 165 at FanDuel. 1.5 must be the same thing. 1.5 minus 165. You'd never bet the 1.5 minus 165. It would be terrible value. But if you get plus 155, it's an entirely different story. It's all about the percentage chance that something happens relative to the payout that you're going to get. And that's what betting comes down to.
Exactly. Sports video saying all these unders are scaring me, Carty. Maybe that's why I'm losing NFL better, though. I mean, look, man, I'm not trying to rake you. Sports video, you're one of the OGs with this show. I'm not trying to rake you over the coals here, but yeah, there's a reason. It's a lot easier to bet on things not to happen than to bet on things to happen. And I believe it was, I'm not sure if it was Michael in the chat. Someone in the chat was saying that that unders have been far more successful so far this year. I want to give them the proper props on it. Michael says, hey, gents, just didn't back test. Unders have been doing a lot better than overs this year, especially on receptions and receiving yards. So it makes sense. Passing has not been great here. As Michael also says, yeah, we follow Uncle Poisson on the calculations there. And Taylor says, isn't it true that the projection is a mean and not a median? Median is likely lower. That is also true. So the projection is the mean. And then when we run the simulator here, what we're doing is we're getting to that median. Like we have the mean, we run the simulation, it's going 10,000 times and it's counting how many times it goes over and under. And then it produces that median. And that's how we get that edges there. And LD Yank says the money from under spends just the same. Yes, it does. More under, says Joel Bogosh. All right. Watch our next bet. Our next bet that we're looking at here is an over, isn't it, Derek?
We are looking at an over next.
Called it.
We're going to do some overs. The overs are more fun to watch, obviously, but and it can be hard to find value on overs.
Yeah, it's important to throw some overs in. Like if you just bet unders, a sports book is going to look at you and go, well, he's done. Yeah.
And this is an over that projects pretty well here. So Spencer Rattler is a guy I think I bet his over on in both of the games so far. Went over it easily last week.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly 18 and a half. I actually didn't realize there was a 17 and a half still out there. So
that might not be out there anymore. Caesars has been a little slow lately.
Okay. Well, if someone can confirm either that will be the line or the 8.5, what was our best 8.5 on this? Looks like minus 104 at Rivers.
Boglor and Natish saying it's still out there.
All right, if it's still out there, then that's what we'll take here. So we'll take the Caesars over 17.5, minus 119 for Rattler. The Blitz is projecting about 21. These are the types of plays that I bet the guy, I forget your name, I'm sorry, in the chat is like, man, these unders are scary. I bet Spencer Rattler overs aren't any better for you.
Seriously, you're like, you want an over? Here's an over.
Here you go. But that's kind of why these are the types of bets that I tend to place, that, sharp projection systems tend to steer you towards, because they are uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. And that's why the books offer you value on it. The books know you would much rather bet an over than an under on a good player. They know you would much rather bet an under on Spencer Rattler than an over. And so you're kind of, almost dared to take the other side. And I'll take that there. So Rattler here, he's not a great quarterback by any means, one of the worst starting quarterbacks in football right now, but they are indoors. They are going to be trailing, probably throwing the whole game. Chris Olave should be back this week.
Mm-hmm.
And, even though bad quarterbacks, like, he may not throw for a lot of yards, but with bad quarterbacks, sometimes they'll protect them by just being like, okay, here's a short route. If he throws a ball to Kamara for -2 yards or to a tight end for a yard, like, still counts for completion. It's not going to get you anywhere in terms of his passing yards prop, but for completions, that's just fine.
Yeah.
And there were quite a few of those last week with him.
Yeah, I think Alvin Kamara had like 10 receptions for 17 yards. We had him at 35.5 on that Thursday night football game, and he still went under his receiving yards mark, even though he had a bunch of receptions. Like, Rattler is checking the ball down a lot. And by the way, that Caesars number is now at minus 135. I just went to go bet it, and I did not get in as quick as everybody else. So I took the MGM minus 120 instead. Jim Robinson also saying, playing for the worst head coach in the NFL. Not true, Antonio Pierce, but who gifted us 2 check down passes before kneeling before halftime last week. And
that was really nice.
That was great. Yahtzee says, find someone that loves you like Carty loves his backup quarterback props.
I do. I really do. Taylor Holt has a good question. How much is factored in for potentially getting benched for Jake Haener? I'm not projecting any risk of that right now. I mean, it seems like Derek Carr should be back next week. I kind of think benching him stupid. I could be wrong.
It was a blowout, and he still was like, he didn't get benched. It was the end of the game, and they were like, screw it. Like,
yeah.
And
he actually, I think he came out with an injury last week. It wasn't even like a true benching. Like, you're so terrible, take a seat, son.
Yeah.
So I think he's, I mean, as safe as a backup quarterback can be to finish a game, I guess. Backup quarterbacks are never safe, but I'm comfortable enough with this.
Yeah. Green Kid asking, what's the difference between Blitz and 4-for-4? Well, 4-for-4 is run by, I want to say it's BetSperts. I
think they're a BetSperts company. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the difference. It's two completely different companies here. And also Derek Carty doesn't run the 4-for-4 projections. So that's your difference right there. All right. Sports Video saying maybe through those 3 picks in the first half. I don't know. I mean, Kyle McCord didn't get benched last night. I'm not bitter about it or anything. Mets has a question about Jalen Hurts completions. We've got a little time. We're almost to the end of our list. Let's talk about Jalen Hurts real quick. Ooh.
So it looks like it's basically right in line with the market, which is kind of all over the place. You can have a very small edge middle here, but really it doesn't look like a lot of value either way.
Yeah. You at that point you were trying to thread the needle on a 20 and a half, on a 19 or 20.
If you can get 19 completion, sure, but
yeah,
you're paying some juice for it.
Yep. All right. Where are we headed to next, Derek?
Good question. Okay. We are going back to completions. We are doing another over and hopefully a little bit less scary of one, although that's going to be in the eye of the beholder. Baker Mayfield over 21.5, even money at FanDuel is our best line here. Blitz is projecting about two completions over. And this is showing up, of course, because Mike Evans, Chris Godwin are out. Baker Mayfield overs become much more disgusting from that perspective, but Baker's been playing well. This projects as the fastest paced game of the week, so should see a lot of plays run. They do have depth behind those guys. Like Cade Otton looked good last week. They really just hyped up Jalen McMillan so much in the preseason. Sterling Shepard has looked serviceable. Like they have those 3 good running backs that they can dump passes off to. This is not as ugly as it might seem with those guys missing. So yeah, I'll take the value on this.
I had the Cade Otton under last week. That hurt. He was doing fine, and then that last drive, he just had like 5 catches.
Yeah, I mean, what are you going to do? You're not expecting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By that point, especially, all your receivers are gone. It's just your stuff is already out the window. Chaos already played the Baker Mayfield play. Jim Robinson, you'll get paid a little less than 9-1 on that Jalen Hurts 19.5, 20.5 middle. Not nearly enough for me to try. Need 16-1 minimum, 16-1 minimum to take a middle shot. Also, perhaps you might scramble a little more. Can we check the Otton value? Bogler wants to
know. Can we check what?
The value on Otton receptions.
Sure, we can. Yeah, there's a bit of value on Otton receptions. Yeah. I don't mind that.
I don't want a ladder 4.5. I'm looking more at like 2.5 because 5 receptions for a tight end, even with no receivers, is still a lot.
It is a lot.
Yeah.
But they kind of said he's got to step up. So we'll see.
Yeah. All right. Are we going to Chuba Hubbard next?
We are. We missed him before, but we are looking at Chuba over 14.5 carries, -110 at DraftKings. Looks like our best number here. It's showing big value with the Blitz projecting 17. This is another gross one because even though Chuba he's been getting here consistently. Chuba's been very profitable on his rushing attempts overs this year. They're 10-point underdogs against the Broncos this week because Andy Dalton is out and Bryce Young is starting a quarterback again. Adam Thielen is still out. Deontay Johnson is out. So there's a possibility that this team just cannot move the ball. They run 20 plays and then Chuba doesn't get there. But in a more likely average scenario where they're bad, but not like just can't do anything bad, they're still going to try to run the ball. Earlier this year, even when they were in this situation, they were much more run heavy with Bryce Young as the quarterback than they were with Dalton, which makes more sense because he's bad. They love Chuba. They like to lean on him. Even when they're in bad game scripts, they still lean on Chuba. They still run the ball. And it's not like Denver's good. They're 10-point favorites here, but this is still the Bo Nix led Denver Broncos. Like, this game could be closer than the market says it's going to be. So I'll still take the over on Chuba here for one more week until Jonathan Brooks is back, and hope that that they're just like, we have nothing else going for us. Let's give the ball to this guy.
An important thing to note in your handicapping, though, the Broncos are rolling out their Ghost Bronco all white jerseys this week. Lay the 10. Lay the 10. They're incredible. They're immaculate. Like, I'm not a fan of every team going with these all white jerseys, but the ones that have done it have done a really good job. Like, the Broncos jerseys are fantastic. Those white tiger jerseys that the Bengals rolled out were phenomenal. PRB D-Lo asks, how do I download the Blitz projection so I can get them into Unabated? Good news, you do not have to do that. If you roll up to the projection there where it says the Blitz and just click on the Blitz, as long as you have a subscription to the Blitz from EV Analytics, you can link your account with EVA with your Unabated account, and it is going to automatically sync them in for you, so you don't have to worry about updates. You don't have to worry about anything. It's all going to be great there.
Yep. And if you don't have it yet, it should prompt you. Prompt you for it when you click on that. And it should, you'll have basically real-time updates to whenever it updates. It'll automatically link in. There's no downloading and uploading or anything like that involved.
Yeah, it's absolutely phenomenal, and I love it. And quite frankly, not being able to use these tools when I'm betting stuff like MLS is so wild, because I'm so used to having all the information right there, and then it's just, I have to line shop manually like a caveman again. Awful. All right, let's see here. We have that Bryce Young 156.5 passing line is so low. I'm almost curious what the Blitz has to say about Bryce Young.
I am too. Well, let's take a look at that, because that sounds hysterical.
He is quite terrible, but that Panthers team is just so bad.
Yeah, I mean, he's bad. He has no receivers to throw to. Oh my God. And the Blitz thinks you want to bet the over, which I guess makes sense because it's ugly and you don't want to bet the over, but they set the line at 153.5.
Is Patrick Surtain there? Is he playing, or is he still out?
I don't know.
I mean, who does he even cover? They have no receivers.
I mean, their top receivers, I guess, Leggett this week, and then they have Jalen Coker. They have Mingo. Jatavian Sanders was involved a lot last week. Like, it's a dumpster fire.
The names you're throwing out are not good. Oh man. All right. Maybe we'll hold our nose and bet Bryce Young this week, but it's certainly not something that we're putting on the official board here. Green Kid wants to know, what do y'all think about Russell Wilson over 204.5 yards? I mean, he played well last week, but he was playing the Jets, and so of course Russell Wilson was going to cook the Jets.
Before we go to Russell Wilson,
okay.
First I'll say don't bet that. Wait until I talk about it. 19.5 completions is a decent number, and I think attainable. I imagine there's not a completion market on him yet. There's not, but I might keep an eye out to see if that opens, because that could be, if they might set him at like a 15.5 or something. If they do something crazy like that, I'll be in on it.
Yeah.
But Russell Wilson, no. This is one where I know I like the under. Under projects. Oh, wow, 205. Best I saw before was 199. I guess the market maybe's even been moving up, which not for me. Not for me. Russell Wilson first, I don't think is very good, and outside of George Pickens, I don't think he has anyone very good to throw to. They're a full touchdown favorite over the New York Football Giants. So it's a run-heavy game script for the most run-heavy team in football. This is a spot where they should be running the ball a ton, I think. And it projects as the slowest pace game of the week. So total play volume, not going to be super high. Maybe he gets there with a couple deep shots or something, but I like the under on Wilson. I would not touch the over.
We need to have a serious talk with the NFL about the amount of New York football games that get put on prime time. I'm a Jets fan.
I don't understand it.
I understand it. It's New York, but I don't care. Like fans of these
do they
teams
really think people want to watch the Giants? Like they don't. They can't.
We don't even want to watch our teams. Like I don't want to watch the Jets on prime time. Every Jets fan I see on Twitter this week is like, thank God we have the Spiro Didi's, David Archuleta 1 p.m. game again. Like finally back to irrelevance where we belong. Stop putting us on prime time. So of course Thursday night against the Texans, we're on there again. It's brutal.
Let's see. We have Jim one Robinson more to go to.
Mm-hmm. Jim Robinson, that one bomb pass and lucky Pickens catch got him at least another week of work.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm projecting Wilson for the full workload here.
Yeah.
But it is entirely possible he gets benched for Justin Fields. They just work a couple Justin Fields, packages in. Like you don't know. There's even more downside beyond just the projection here.
Yeah. To give you an idea of how much everything was going my way last weekend, I won a fantasy football game in which I started Justin Fields at quarterback. It was not my first moment, but we got there. That's how good it last week was. One more question. Tate wants to know, how much do we like Rudolph under 7.5 rushing? I'm assuming it's Mason Rudolph.
That's Mason Rudolph. Yeah, we can look at him in a minute. Let's to do that, we don't have the quarterbacks don't simulate in here yet.
We'll look at that one in a minute for you. Meyer Rudolph, I love the under.
Yeah, I know the Blitz likes the under on that. But we'll pop over to EV Analytics because we are doing another quarterback rushing under, and that is Spencer Rattler. You can see our best line here looks like 22.5 minus 110 at DraftKings. You can see some 19.5s out there, some 21s already. It's been moving down at a lot of books. Blitz is projecting about 9 yards under the implied line. We like his completions over, but this is still a Chargers team that is going to play fairly slow. Rattler, even though he's like a young quarterback, he's not really like a young, dynamic, athletic kind of quarterback. He's had 4 and 5 carries the last couple of weeks. He's gone over this number both times. He went over last week, and I bet the under. But he's had a couple of long runs to do it both times, which are just not sustainable. Like he must be averaging like 6 yards a carry or 7 yards a carry or something like that. You bring him down to a more normal number. You give him like four or so carries at, like 4 or 5 yards per carry. And you see how the math works out here. If he breaks a long one, so be it, but not a ton of design runs for him. He's had some scrambles. He will have to drop back to throw. Hopefully won't have to scramble as much with Olave back. I will take the under on here, given his kind of his athletic profile and the fact that I think he's gotten lucky the last 2 weeks, and that's why we're seeing a number like this.
Yeah. Bogler saying we've already moved it down to minus 115 on DraftKings. By the way, I need to apologize because I missed on a great one last week, but a wild stat in the QB rushing department. Apparently, Aiden O'Connell has left the pocket once in his career. Like,
is that true?
I swear to God, that was the stat. Like, he does not he has escaped the pocket on exactly one snap in his NFL career. He's obviously now hurt and gone for a while, but yeah, that was an absolutely insane number that I saw there. And I was going to suggest his rushing yard under, which obviously would have hit because he was out right at the beginning of the game. So sorry, guys, we missed on some money there. Joe748 has a great question. Which non-yardage stats to bet on are least correlated with passing completion?
Oh my God. I'm looking at the Blitz's scramble rate for Aiden O'Connell, and you are right. Oh my God. Even guys that don't scramble project to scramble like 1% to 2% of the time. Like your Kirk Cousins or your,
like that's Peyton Manning numbers.
Yeah. Aiden O'Connell projects to scramble like 0.5% of the time.
Yeah.
All right. Fun. Okay. I'll have to keep that in the back of my mind. If he takes back over later this year. Did we have a question?
Which non-yardage stats to bet on are the least correlated with passing completions?
I'd say probably like your interceptions. I'd say is probably your most uncorrelated.
Mm-hmm.
Touchdowns probably next.
Is interceptions correlated with anything?
I mean, it's correlated a little bit. Like it's going to be correlated just in terms of volume. If the team's going to throw a lot, there's more of a chance of interception just because it's correlated with talent a little bit. But interceptions in a lot of ways are noisy. They're very noisy.
Sports videos, interceptions are correlated with Jameis. Yes, they are. But I will say, like, a little piece of alpha for you guys here. We had a podcast with Ed Fang from the Power Rank last year, and he was doing some pretty interesting stuff with what he called bad ball percentage, percentage of like bad throws, basically bad throws quarterbacks were making, and was finding some interesting stuff in the interception market there. So something to keep in mind there. Another wild stat: Patrick Mahomes has not thrown a touchdown pass in the month of October this year.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I'm really I'm confused what this offense is right now.
Everyone's confused. The worse Mahomes plays, the better the Chiefs are. It makes no sense.
Even just like their play calling, like they have been the most pass heavy team in football for the last 7 years, every year.
And Isaiah Pacheco's out.
And Isaiah Pacheco's out, and they're running the ball like way more than they ever have. Like, I know the wide receiver situation isn't great, but like it was the same last year. And I don't even know what to expect them to do in a game in terms of their passing and running. I'd really love to get some clarification on that.
Yeah, I know there was a question about Kareem Hunt rushing attempts in here, but it's so difficult to predict this Chiefs offense.
Yeah, so you'll see the Blitz projecting Kareem Hunt. Well, we can pop back to the simulator and look, actually. I know the Blitz likes Kareem Hunt unders. I think it likes the Mahomes overs. It's partially just because the Blitz is projecting them to regress a little bit more towards what they've always done, which is passing the ball more than they have the last few weeks. But truly, I don't know. I mean, if this is just like a legitimate thing, they're like, all right, we just, we're going to be more effective running the ball now for XYZ reasons, then maybe they keep doing it. I don't know. I haven't touched this one yet. I don't think it's necessary. If I was going to touch one, especially since they're such a big favorite here against Vegas, if I was going to touch a Chiefs related one with the uncertainty of it, it'd probably be a Mahomes over because he could just get there no matter what. I feel like there's more outs on that, but theoretically there's value. Theoretically there's value here.
Yeah. All right. How many more plays do we have from the?
I think we've gone through all of ours now.
Okay, cool. We've hit everything, so we're good on time. We can answer some more questions from everybody. But first, just to recap those, we had to break this one up into 2 parts. That's how many we were looking at here, because we had Rashad White under 10.5 rush attempts at even money on DK, Khif Raymond at over 2.5 receptions plus 155 on Bet365. Devante minus 130 on the under 5.5 receptions on 365. Achane under 3.5 receptions plus 124 at Penny. Amari Cooper under 3.5 receptions at.
We were gonna do that one. That one got pulled out actually. So
that one got pulled out. So disregard Amari Cooper there. Also HR Hard Rock. And then we also had James Cook under 1.5 receptions plus 155 at Bet365. Alec Pierce, same exact stats, same exact odds, same exact book. Chuba Hubbard over 14.5 rushing attempts minus 110 on DK. Spencer Rattler over 17.5 completions minus 119 at the Caesars. Baker Mayfield over 21.5 completions, even money on FanDuel. And Spencer Rattler under 22.5 rushing yards minus 118 at the Rivers. Ladies and gentlemen, good luck on all of those as well. But let's talk about a few more plays here before we have to give way to the NBA show for the day. How do we feel about Travis Kelce unders here?
Let's take a look. I would imagine the Blitz is not super on them because, again, it's probably projecting them more pass heavy than the market is going to be. Yeah, basically no value on the Kelce stuff. We can check receptions too, but I mean, a little bit of value on the completions over if you can get it at Fanatics.
Yeah. Yahtzee, is Christian Darrisaw is that the Vikings tackle out for the year, Yahtzee? That would suck. Chaos New York saying all my homies hate Kelsey. He's always great when my money isn't on him. Yeah, that's the way it goes. Oh man, that sucks.
Be hit or miss.
Yeah, that sucks for the Vikings. Mets saying Josh Allen's going to slide up that injured Seattle secondary, right?
I'm on Buffalo under passing stuff more than anything else. I think we put too much weight or too much confidence into which defenses are good and which defenses are bad. Like the data shows us that we truly don't know. There is so much noise to it. It's going to be a pretty slow-paced game. Buffalo probably, they're what, a 3-point favorite, going to be playing from ahead a little bit. There's wind, there's rain. I'm not really on Buffalo passing stuff. If anything, we did cook under. I'm on Buffalo passing unders due to game environment.
Yeah. Another question was Drake May passing yards.
Oh, Drake May. Yeah, I know that the Blitz likes his unders. I took his under touchdowns earlier this week, but you can take his under yards. It's actually, I think it's been moving up. If you're going to take one like this, like he's a young rookie quarterback who's exciting, has looked pretty good so far. You can wait and see if books move this up even further if you want, or you can just take it here. Facing, again, we don't know defenses, whatever, but like the Jets have a reputation as a good defense. I mentioned earlier, this is going to be a very slow paced game, and Drake May is a rookie quarterback. Generally speaking, rookie quarterbacks are bad. Hasn't looked bad in 2 games, but it's only been 2 games. So I think more likely than not, Drake May still looks like a below average quarterback. I think that has to be our best guess of his talent right now, obviously with a subpar receiving core.
Yeah, Bogler's saying he thinks he's not bad. I think Drake May's got talent. I think that the problem really is just going to be that, the receiving core is so terrible and everything about that team is so terrible that you're not going to see him really get a great look just yet. And the other problem is that the Jets secondary even banged up. DJ Reed is back. I'm pretty sure Michael Carter's back this week too. They've got good corners.
And when I say rookie quarterbacks are bad, I don't mean they're untalented. Yeah. I just want to clarify that. I just mean like going from college to the NFL is really, really hard. And most quarterbacks are not able to do super well with that transition in their first year. Yeah.
All right. Natish is going to bring us home here. I think this is going to be our last one. Jacoby Myers over receiving yards.
Yeah, we got a report about an hour ago that he's likely to play. Have they put props out on him? That's not how you spell his last name. No receptions yet. Let me refresh the screen. Maybe they just dropped. Because, yeah, I don't think he had markets earlier because we didn't even know if he was going to play. Yeah. I know I do have him projected in. I was expecting him to play. So let's see. Let's see if we have some value here. Jacoby. Oh, yeah, we're looking at some value. Is there a receptions market too for him? There's not, just yards. But yeah, Blitz is projecting 66. Yeah. Over 41.5. We don't know. I want to kind of look and see what they're saying in terms of his health. Is he going to be full go? He's basically projected as full go right now by the Blitz. But Myers is good. Their number 1 receiver with Devante Adams gone. They're going to be having to throw a decent bit this game, playing from behind against the Chiefs. Myers is talented. I'm a big Jacoby Myers fan in general. So, yeah, I kind of like this bet.
Yeah. Chad Martin's got one more question for us. Kyler Murray rushing unders have always been popping up on the Blitz, but haven't been great this year. Is he a stay away? He does scramble.
Yeah, I don't do a ton of quarterback rushing props.
Mm-hmm. They're very difficult.
They're difficult. Like they're hard to even just model the distribution on. Like there's a reason that the Unabated simulator doesn't have them. You can see the under showing value here. Personally, I'm not taking this. I don't think, not for any reason other than just I just feel like I do better on other markets.
Yeah. All right. Joe's got our official final question here. If you wanted to narrow your focus on the rest of the season and only bet 2 stats moving forward, which would you choose? I mean, obviously, like, I don't recommend taking that philosophy, but if you were, I feel like it's going to be passing and rushing attempts.
I think receptions would actually be one of them for me. I think receptions are really good.
Yeah. That's
a second one, maybe quarterback completions, maybe running back rushing attempts, maybe receiving yards. I mean, I don't think you should be restricting yourself, really. I mean, there's certain things that maybe, that are maybe a little tougher to model, like this quarterback rushing stuff. I don't touch as much, but for the most part, value's value, and I'll play whatever markets are showing some value.
Chaos New York saying rushing attempts have been printing and receptions have been great based on my back test at the moment too. Yeah, like we've been having some good luck with those. It's been a good slate, even though we've had some trouble elsewhere, but it doesn't mean that we're not going to rebound there. And we're still really looking at catching the right end of variance here as we truck along to what is about to be the second half of the season. Derek, we're coming up on halftime here.
It's pretty crazy how much of the season has gone by so far, and how we're still getting some crazy stuff happening. I'm very much ready for this week to just be like, okay, this is what's supposed to happen, and this is what actually happens.
Yeah, exactly. So we are definitely hoping to get there. And hey, there's still plenty of season left. I was talking with my friend who was talking about how it really is. It feels like every week goes by so quickly, and every month is so slow. Or every week, I find every week is so slow, and every month is so quick, right?
Yes,
because it feels like, I can't believe September, the start of the season feels like it was so far away, but it feels like we've been in football forever.
Yeah.
It's that time of year, but we got to remember how we felt on those July nights with nothing going on, or those June days. And
nothing going on July nights. We always had baseball. We had baseball.
I rest my case. Nothing. We were scrounging around for what we could find.
Baseball was fantastic this year. Baseball was so profitable.
Yeah, hats off, man. It was a fantastic season there. But that is going to do it for us here on this show. Of course, the NBA crew is coming right in, so you guys don't go anywhere. Head right back to the main channel page. It's going to be right back here. And assuming you have an NBA subscription. If you don't, you are not going to be able to see the show. It is unlisted, so you got to catch that link through the Discord. So just be able to catch that if you are on the NBA package. And otherwise, it has been a wonderful day once again. Derek, always a pleasure, man. We'll be right back at it next week. But for now, you guys know the drill. Best of luck, everybody. We'll see you next week. And let's cash some tickets. See you next time, folks.